afternoon, race fans, and welcome here as we get set for race number 4 of the season, of the debut season of the NNSCRA TaxSlayer Truck Series. Getting ready to go racing here at maybe one of the fastest 1.5 mile D-shaped ovals on the circuit. This is Atlanta Motor Speedway as we get ready for the running of the Great Clips 200. Coming off last week where we ended up having not one but 2 TaxSlayer Truck Series races at Bristol, we now have 4 different race winners this season, and so at this current point in time, if we could speculate that all 4 of those drivers will finish top 30 in the point standings by season's end, we can say that those drivers have taken up 50% of the slots available in this season's TaxSlayer Truck Series chase for the championship. Only 8 positions available, although there are a couple of stories that we have to talk about concerning said drivers coming into this race, and we'll get to that in just a moment. As on the front row for today's race is Jake Moss. Jake Moss almost found victory lane last week. He finished second in the first dual race to the eventual winner of that race, and that was, of course, Paul Minnick. So Jake Moss is still looking for his first win. So he's going to line up alongside of Stuart Gratton in the 31. Stuart Gratton also looking for his first win. I mean, these are a couple of drivers that we've seen them in previous seasons, whether it be in the Pizza Hut X Series, in the Hershey's Cup Series non-charter. These guys know how to get it done. They've got experience under their belt. We'll see if track position is a key factor in today's 33-lap event. Now, the thing that I said that we have to look at as far as stories coming into this race, of the 4 winners we've had so far, only 2 of them come into this race top 30 in the points. You have to be in the top 30 to have your win count towards a spot in the chase for the championship. Our 2 winners last week really needed the win, but it didn't move them into the top 30 in the points yet. Paul Minnick comes into this race 31st in points, and Alex Gray, who won the second Bristol race, comes in 34th. They need more good, consistent finishes, maybe even another trip to victory lane to get themselves fully at the forefront of the conversation of getting into this season's TaxSlayer Truck Series chase for the championship. Could it happen here in Atlanta today? We'll have to find out. There are a lot of other drivers that want their first win. Let's go down trackside now and get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
So 33 laps of racing here today. Stage racing is back for the Truck Series, as it's going to be 11, 11, and 11 for our stages here today. And let's give you your top 10 the points, brought to you by Golden Corral. Joseph Srigley is the points leader. 7 points he holds over Ace Garcia. Third in the points is Patrick Smith. He's 11 points out. And then fourth in the standings, 23 points back, is Jessica Miles. Ryan Madden is 5th in the standings. He is 25 points back. The rest of your top 10 in points are Jordan Lopez, Ryan Brommer, Jonathan Zorlin. He's 8th in the standings. The only former winner this season that is inside the top 10 in the points. Joshua Ciculli is 9th, and Ricky Cervantes is 10th. The other former race winners this season, Tony Green, our Daytona winner, is 12th in points, and we already mentioned that our 2 winners from last week at Bristol, Paul Minnick is 31st in points, and Alex Gray is 34th. One thing about Atlanta, not only is it very, very fast, but it can usually be very, very slick. This is the old surface of Atlanta, and we'll have to see if the grip levels here play a factor into what kind of racing we'll have and who's going to be able to conquer this racetrack as we get set to go racing here. The Great Clips 200 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Green flag is out. Let's roll. Car mid-pack did not get going. I think that was the 33 of Michael Whitman. That allows Tyler Beaver, the 30, to tuck down there on that inside line. As you see that inside line get the push there out of turn number 2. So Moss to the lead. Theroux moves into second. And now the battle is on for third. Here comes Ryan Brommer for that position. And Moss going to pull out to a little bit of an advantage now in the battle on for second. Brommer picked up 3rd place on one of the Red Horse racing cars, trucks I should say, and now he'll take 2nd from Theroux. Making very quick work of the 11 car of J Lagasee, and then his teammate Dylan Theroux, and now has his sights set on the 24 of Jake Moss. As Lagasee tucks into 3rd, Whitman is now up to 4th, and now into 5th is Mason Wood. And here comes Ryan Brommer to the inside for that position to take the race lead. Three wide, about 3-4 rows deep further back there. Eli Sazak was right in the middle of the beginning of that, along with Darren Davidson, one of the BK racing cars. I couldn't tell if that was the 19 of Isaac Nicholls or the 29 of Carter Friesen. It's hard to kind of tell those two apart unless you have a clear look at them. And here come some teammates down the inside line. Tristan Allen in the 12, Marty Czekala in the 33. Top Gun Motorsports trying to get here to the front. And for a moment there, we had a potential battle between Nick Johnson, the 42, Ryan Brommer in the 8. Now here comes Marcus Saatchi as well. Saatchi 13th in the point stage, just outside the top 10 looking in. And now he's cracked the top 5. Marty Czekala, nice run out of 4. Will he get to the inside of Ryan Brommer coming down here to turn 1? Yes, indeed he will. So Marty Czekala to the inside, and he will go to the top position. Talk about a driver that really could use a good run here today, and that would be Marty Czekala. 40th in the point stands coming to this race. Nick Johnson, who's up there right now, that outside. You see the 42 behind the 8. He comes in 41st in point. Eli Barber, he's dead last in points. We'll see if the 3 makes an appearance. I mean, we're going to have to see if some of these drivers struggling in the points, if they're going to be able to work their way up here to the front. It's been a pretty dismal start to the season for them. Ricky Cervantes getting stuck there in the middle, 3 wide. Another car right behind him stuck in the middle, and that's Seth Cole in the 98. As they are 3 wide, about 2 rows deep, almost 3 rows deep now. As looks like J Lagasee going to get stuck in the middle there. Jake Moss back on the inside, and that was Carter Friesen in the 29, the BK Racing car that I saw there. And not too far back there at the tail end of this big pack, you can see is the 19, his teammate Isaac Nicholls. So those cars having good runs at the moment. Shane Lake right now in the 4th position, going to work with Carter Friesen to move to 3rd, and here comes 2nd in the points, 8th Garcia, only 7 points back from the points leader, Joseph Srigley, and that's the 51 of Ace Garcia. He's now going to the inside, working his way to the front, right behind him, actually. That's 2nd and 3rd in the points, goes to tail, the 51 and the 41. Garcia in the Aris Toyota Tundra, Patrick Smith in the Target Dodge Ram. Leader Joseph Srigley come up to the front yet, and there's one of our winners last week, Paul Minnick in the 54. He's 4th right now. He was the car on the inside line of that 3 wide with Patrick Smith and Shane Lake, and the battle for the lead is on. Ace Garcia to the bottom of the racetrack looking for the top position, takes it away from Marty Czekala. So Ace Garcia not only trying to pick up his first win of the season, but take the points lead over to 2 weeks from now's race, because next week the truck will be off as the Hershey's Cup Series will own that weekend at Infineon. Then we'll see them the following week at yet another D-shaped mile-and-a-half racetrack, Texas Motor Speedway. Paul Minnick now to the inside on Marty Czekala, and right behind him we got the number 37. That is Caitlin Tsang. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not Caitlin Tsang. That is actually the 73 of Joshua Ciculli. It's hard to tell the 2 cars apart. I keep forgetting that. Ciculli is in the blue, and Caitlin Tsang is in the red. Paul Minnick, we talked about that he comes into this race 31st in the point stands, needs to get into the top 30 to have that win last week at Bristol Dirt count towards the spot in the chase for the championship. Well, right now, looks like he's got his mindset on maybe being able to pick up his 2nd win of the season, and that would definitely help propel him up through the point standings. Not only that, but we're coming to the completion of our first stage, so if Minnick's able to get around Ace Garcia here, that's a playoff point, unless he would get 10 stage points here, which I think would definitely, in our live point standings, rocket him into the top 30 in the points, but I don't think he's going to be able to get to Ace Garcia. Garcia with about a truck length in hand, and looks like he will win the first stage here today. So Ace Garcia, 10 valuable bonus points, which according to our live point standings would put him as the points leader already, and he's going to win the first stage. Well, it's going to be a Toyota battle though. 3 Toyotas here. Garcia, Minnick, and now Nick Johnson joins the fray once again there in the 42, bringing Marty Czekala along with him. And look at a couple of other drivers that have cracked up into the top 10. One in the top 5 there, Eli Bright in the 7, and the 05 of Eli Sazak. So we're starting to see some new faces here as we complete our first stage and head into the 2nd stage of today's race. Looks like they're kind of catch up on a slower truck, and that is actually Lopez in the 23. Lopez comes into this race 6th in the point stands. I don't know what exactly is amiss on that truck. He does not appear to be up to speed. That car may be down a cylinder or something, and that's a tough break for him because Like I said, he was running inside the top 10 in the point standings, and now he's going to hold up some drivers here. Nick Johnson and Paul Minnick, Marcus Saatchi up on that top side as that whole inside line starts to move. Speaking of that inside line driver that we were talking about coming in as the points leader, he's now starting to move his way up towards the top 10. Last time I scored in 6th place, that's J Srigley in the 90. Now he's up in the 6th spot looking for 5th place on Patrick Smith. Eli Bright, and there's Ryan Brommer, who spent a couple of laps out in front here early on in this thing. They're in 3rd and 4th. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead is on. Marty Czekala was also out in front in this event earlier on. He wants to get back out in front. He's got to get by Ace Garcia to do it. Ace Garcia last season full-time in the Pizza Hut X Series, went to victory lane twice and made the chase for the Pizza Hut X Series Championship. Bringing a lot of experience down here into the TaxSlayer Truck Series and showing it off right now. It's been a very consistent season so far for him. And so far, his average finishing position is 9.6. So he has, in his average finish of his 3 starts so far this season, he has finished inside the top 10 in all of them. As a matter of fact, the only other driver that has a better average finishing position than him is Patrick Smith with a 9.3 average finish, and Smith is running right now in the 4th position. So both these drivers looking to get yet another top 10 finish. So far, I believe 8 drivers, don't make that 9 drivers. Actually, it's 3, 4, 5, 10 drivers. 11 drivers. I'll get it right so earlier. 11 drivers have finished in the top 10 twice this season in starts. But only 4 drivers, I can't see to save my life. Only 3 drivers have finished in the top 5 twice this season. They are Jessica Miles, Ryan Madden, and Jordan Lopez. Now, we haven't seen the 25 make her way up here into the top 10 yet. And we saw the 23 car actually is now off the lead lap. The only car that looks like he may take over the statistical lead of top 5s this season might be Ryan Brommer, running in that 3rd position. A couple more drivers working their way into the top 10. Seth Cole in the 98. I'm also seeing, I believe that was Joshua Hyatt there in the 83. Yeah, he's there. I don't know if he's cracked the top 10 or not. See this time by if he is or not. As look at this up front, there's a car we haven't talked about, or a truck we haven't talked about. A Yepez all of a sudden is up here. I didn't even see his Haas Automation Chevy Silverado until just now. He made that 3-wide move on Ryan Brommer and Marty Czekala, so nice run right now for him coming into this race. 26th in the point standings and having a really good run right now. He's driver of the 0 or 00, and there is Joshua Hyatt. He is now up into the 5th position, so I was correct in that. Our Daytona winner is starting to work his way up here as well. Tony Green, I can see the Red Bull plane not too far back, and the battle for the lead is on. Ryan Brommer, Marty Czekala, Nick Johnson, they couldn't do anything with Ace Garcia, but that big momentum push that inside line got is going to propel A Yepez to the race lead. But will he hang on to it? Here comes Nick Johnson to the inside for the top position. Another car up ahead they're going to have to deal with, and that looks like that could potentially be our Las Vegas race winner, Jonathan Zorlin. It is. And Zorlin came into this race as the only race winner inside the top 10, the points, 8th in the standings. So Lopez 6th in points, Zorlin 8th in points, both off the pace. And look at this nice crossover move by Joshua Hyatt. That's going to get him the race lead as he'll lead the field into turn 3. And the next time by will be the completion of our 2nd stage. So Ace Garcia won stage 1. Let's see who's going to win stage 2. Top 3, Hyatt, Brommer, and Seth Cole. And Eli Bright in a battle on 4th place rather. No, that's for 5th actually. Marcus Saatchi and Nick Johnson. Ryan Brommer get by Joshua Hyatt here, coming to the start-finish line. Hyatt right down on the yellow line, not allowing Brommer any breathing room to make a move, and Joshua Hyatt will win stage number 2. Hyatt coming into this race 17th in the point stand. It's been a good run for this guy, a guy that up to the start of the Truck Series, we had absolutely no idea of his prior experience. Making his NNSCRA debut in this series, and put on a pretty good showing there in that number 83. By Chris Dollarton at team named Dollarton Motorsports, yeah. I'm trying to remember if there was a unusual name or if it was just a simple Dollarton Motorsports. I didn't want to make a mistake on that. Meanwhile, the top two have broken away. R Brommer pushing Joshua Hyatt down the back straightaway. They've got about 3, maybe 4 truck lengths between themselves and the third place driver, which right now is Nick Johnson. As a matter of fact, you got teammates there. They're about to battle for third place out of Flickinger Racing Development. The 74 of Marcus Saatchi, trying to catch a teammate in the 42, Nick Johnson. Good run for both of those drivers in this one here today. Patrick Smith right there. You know, we were talking about Ace Garcia maybe taking the points lead away from Joseph Srigley, but we didn't really mention the fact of Patrick Smith maybe being able to do the exact same thing, because Patrick Smith only came into this race 11 points back behind Joseph Srigley and only 4 points back behind Ace Garcia. I think Patrick Smith, though, has to get out in front and lead a lap, though. Garcia has been out in front in this one. And I think Patrick Smith may realize that as well as he works by Saatchi for the 4th position. Now sets his sights on 3rd place. Those top 2 were broken away for a while, but not anymore. It's a big train coming out of turn 4. All these trucks single file. And Nick Johnson now to the inside on R Brommer. A couple more drivers. I love to see how, the thing that I love about these kind of races is you have your comers and goers. You have drivers that work their way into the top 10. You have drivers that slip out of the top 10. It's always a new top 10, it seems, every time you hit the start-finish line. A couple of new drivers that have popped up into the top 10. You got the runner-up finisher at Daytona, J Cervantes, season 7th, and R Madden crossed the line in 8th last time by. So good runs for both of them in the closing stages of this race. But Joshua Hyatt out in front trying to win this thing. He's going to have to hold off Nick Johnson. Talked about Ace Garcia and his repertoire in the Pizza Deck Series. Nick Johnson raced 2 seasons in the Pizza Deck Series and went to victory lane a total of 2 times, once in season 1 and once in season 2. And I believe he made the chase for the Pizza Deck Series Championship back in season 1. He's going to have his teammate right there with him. Saatchi, the 74. Now, will they battle for second, or will they try working together to draft up to the back bumper of the Krispy Kreme Chevrolet Silverado? Next time by, it is going to be 4 laps to go. And pit stops are going to play a factor. I didn't even think they would, but a number of drivers are now hitting pit road. Some drivers hit pit road in the last lap around, and we just saw the teammates, Marcus Saatchi and Nick Johnson, hit pit road. So nobody apparently can make it on fuel, or else if they can, they're going to have to stretch it. I didn't even expect, God's honest truth, I did not expect these drivers to have to make pit stops. But this makes this race much more interesting, no doubt about that. And Joshua Hyatt is to pit road. Ace Garcia is going to roll the dice and stay out. Hopefully this pit road's not going to end some driver's day that he's having a good run. This pit road doesn't have a pit wall. It's pretty spacious. But I saw them almost 3 wide down there on pit road there on that last camera shot. Looks like a couple of drivers stayed out on this lap. Ace Garcia, points leader Joseph Srigley, and C Tsang in the 37. Undoubtedly, they will all be coming to pit road this lap, and it's going to be with 2 laps to go. This is going to be crazy. Oh my goodness, Srigley staying out another lap. C Tsang did come to pit road, and Srigley's going to stay out an extra lap. 2 laps to go. Now the question is he trying to stretch it to make it the entire way? He's going to have to save a lot of fuel. He's going to have to try and make it around 1.5 more times. Will he stay out this time, or will he have to come to pit road, or will he run out of fuel trying? Sounds like he's lifting. Sounds like he's saving. And he is coming to pit road. So now what? Is this the battle maybe for the race win right here between Nick Johnson and Patrick Smith? We got to look for Ace Garcia in the 51. There he is. And then we'll have to look for Srigley. Garcia trying to come off pit road ahead of Nick Johnson. This is the battle for the race lead and the win, I think. Now, I think these drivers are just now coming around to get the white flag. Here comes Nick Johnson. Here comes Patrick Smith to the inside for second. Garcia out in front. This is the white flag for these drivers. Where is Srigley? Srigley leaving pit road. They're going to pass him. This is the battle for the win. Garcia out in front. Smith in second. Johnson in third. Patrick Smith, will he clear Nick Johnson? Yes, he will, but Johnson's going to make the crossover. Ace Garcia, second in the point standings, is going to take the points lead. He's also going to find victory lane for the first time this season. He will take the checkered flag in the Great Clips 200 in Atlanta. And Ace Garcia came to pit road 1 lap later than the second place finisher Nick Johnson. Maybe those fresher tires helped him to be able to hang on to that top spot, but boy, his pit crew had to nail that pit stop on pit road. There's no doubt about that. Apparently they did. Who would have thought that we'd have had pit stops here decide this thing? I mean, we had drivers on pit road. We had the then race leader, J Srigley, come to pit road, coming to the white flag. That was pretty fun. Standings should be official here at Atlanta. And indeed they are. Ace Garcia came in second in the points. He will not leave second in the points. He will definitely be the points leader as he won 2 of the stages here today as well. And picks up his first win of the season. Nick Johnson brings it home in second. Patrick Smith in third. Ryan Brommer was fourth with Eli Bright in fifth. Seth Cole is in sixth. Joshua Hyatt, who was leading at the time those green flag pit stops began, is seventh. Eli Sazak gets eighth. Ninth for A Yepez. And Shane Lake brings it home in the 10th position. Marcus Saatchi, Ricky Cervantes, Marty Czekala, Caitlin Tsang, Gabe Williams, that's your top 15. Joseph Srigley, it didn't quite work for him. I thought he might actually risk it and try staying out there for that white flag lap, but nope, brought it to pit road, and he'll finish 16th. Tristan Allen 17th. Isaac Nicholls, Ryan Madden, and Alex Gray, one of our winners last week at Bristol, will finish in the 20th position. You should look on down through the remainder of the finishing results here today. Pole sitter Jake Moss finishing in the 25th position. Further down, Paul Minnick, one of our winners last week, he gets 33rd. And Stuart Gratton, who started on the outside of the front row for today's race, finishes in 36th. Jessica Miles came in 4th in the point standings. Not the run she was looking for, as she's going to finish last car on the lead lap in 40th. Jonathan Zorland, former winner this year at Las Vegas, came in 8th in points. He finished a lap down in 41st, and Jordan Lopez was the first truck to go a lap down, finishing 42nd today, and he came into this race 6th in the point standings. So there's no doubt in my mind we're going to have a bit of a point shake-up at the top 10 of the point standings. Some drivers having good runs, some drivers having mediocre runs, and as we see down here at the bottom of the list, quite a number of drivers having very poor performances here today at Atlanta. So we'll have to see what the top 10 in points and the overall point standings themselves look like heading into our next race, which again is going to be in 2 weeks. Next week, the trucks take an off week as the Hershey's Cup Series will have sole possession of that weekend with road course racing at Infineon, and then these drivers will be back the following week at Texas Motor Speedway. But thank you all for tuning in today's race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown your full feature results, and these are your point standings heading into our next race at Texas in 2 weeks. Ace Garcia goes to victory lane in an exciting finish that had pit strategy come into play here at Atlanta, and we will see you guys next time. Tomorrow it's the Pizza Hut X Series race from Atlanta, and then we cap it off with the Hershey's Cup Series as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.